Today's recap video is from the Japanese animated science fiction film called Summer Wars, in the beginning of which it can be seen that a computerized voice is coming from a cell phone saying, "Welcome to the world of Oz." Basically, Oz is a virtual world that anyone can access. It can be accessed through various devices such as computers, mobile phones, and television. Let's experience it now. Then enter the world of Oz. Where to select an avatar first? Here, everyone is represented through a unique avatar to every user in Oz's world, which can be designed like your own through clothes, hairstyles, etc. Whatever you want. This avatar holds all its users' personal information and can have as much authority as its user in real life. Now enjoy your relaxed time with it and enjoy the world of Oz. Through this world of Oz, in the shopping mall, one can find music, movies, furniture, commodities, automobiles, real estate, vacation plans, and many other things from around the world wide, as genuine as reality. As visit specialized stores if one seeks a more refined shopping experience. And Oz has luxury stores worldwide, where one can even buy clothes for their avatars. But here also, the most important thing is the communication. In Oz, all languages are translated instantly, enabling you to communicate easily with everyone in the world. There are 4 million communities in the Oz community, where one can entertain with sports through Avatar. After that, the world of Oz has a full range of support and services for businesses as well. There are companies from all around the world with branches in the world of Oz. They can also set up new offices. There are also many local governments and self-governing bodies represented in Oz. One can do their tax or take care of any official business here in Oz. Last, let's introduce the guardian angels of Oz, John and Yoko. Oz welcomes you to the world of Oz with open arms. Now please start your extravagant life in the world of Oz. Today is Monday, July 26th, and this is the news at noon. After that, the news started that this morning it was confirmed that the asteroid explorer Arawashi changed its orbit from the Sun to Earth. Arawashi has encountered one problem after another, but there are plans to launch a capsule with the sample collected from the asteroid Motogawa when the time is right. In the next scene, 2 avatars that look like a monkey and a mouse are working inside the Oz. The mouse avatar was seen as disappointed by the fact that he failed to represent Japan in International Math Olympics. Hearing this, monkey avatar said, "How many times will he hear the same thing?" and invite him to set their sights on something new, like the summer theme. Then the mouse avatar asked, "Does he think that summer's all about watermelons, fireworks, and girls?" Suddenly, in the real life, a girl named Natsuki is coming towards the school on her fast-running bicycle. She is then seen entering the room of Kenji and Sakuma, where they are a part-time moderator in the massive computer-simulated virtual reality world Oz. She was looking for someone that would do a part-time job. At first, Kenji agrees, but Sakuma interrupts him. The two of them refused because they already had part-time work in Oz. But then they changed their minds when they knew that all they had to do was accompany her back to her hometown. And they both agree, but Natsuki will need only one. The following scene shows the exhibition game by King Kazma, a bunny avatar fighting and winning against all other avatars in the so-called Oz Martial Arts Championship. In the next scene, Kenji is seen approaching Natsuki on a bullet train. After that, Natsuki saw Kenji and called him out. When Kenji says he's sorry for being late, Natsuki says he's not late, he has come at the right time, and added that if it were Sakuma, it would have been late. Then Kenji asks what he has to do. He could do anything. Natsuki thanked him, showed him some items, and asked if he could carry them. Kenji and Natsuki then went on a train to Ueda, Natsuki's hometown. Because it was her grandmother's birthday, Natsuki said that relatives from all over Japan were coming, but they were really short on help. Sitting on the train, Natsuki asks Kenji that, by the way, what was he trying to represent Japan in, as Sakuma said so. Then Kenji says that it is called the International Math Olympics. Natsuki then asks Kenji if he is very good at it. Kenji answers that that's all he's good at, actually. Natsuki then asks to show him something. Kenji asks for her birthday date. Afterward, Kenji showed his mathematical prowess inside the train by calculating the day Natsuki was born on, and says that it was Sunday, July 19th, 1992. Hearing this, Natsuki says, "Don't tell her that he memorized all the dates." Kenji replies that no, he figured it out using the modulo operation. Kenji then asks if he is right, but Natsuki doesn't know what day that day was. After that, the train reached Ueda. Standing on the platform, Natsuki says that her grandmother will be 90 years old this year, so Kenji asks if she was born in 1920. On their way to Natsuki's house, they meet several of Natsuki's relatives, who are also coming home. For example, shortly after getting off the train, Aunt Noriko is seen on the platform, calling for Natsuki. After that, they are seen riding a local train. Then Aunt Noriko says that she was the 16th head of the Jinoichi household, and their family's gravestones date back to the Muromachi period. Their silk business, which was founded in Meiji, prospered and the household grew quite big, but their late grandfather squandered the fortune and... After that, Natsuki saw her Aunt Yumi and called her, then they were seen on the bus. Aunt Yumi says that they are now completely penniless. The mountains, the store, and the factory have lost everything. She also said that she is blown away every time she sees the New Year's letters their grandmother receives. All of them are from CEOs of famous companies and all sorts of politicians. After that, the bus drops them at a place, and a lady calls out to Natsuki from across the street. Natsuki greets her by shaking her hand and calling her Nana. After that, they all started walking together. Then Nana said that grandmother could be scary from time to time, he knows. And Aunt Yumi said that the blood of a samurai, he knows. He should watch out. After that, Aunt Yumi, Nana, and Natsuki walked forward laughing. After that, Kenji finally arrived at Natsuki's grandmother's house. After that, Aunt Mariko welcomed them and said, "Thank you for coming this way." Aunt Mariko tells them that they have cold watermelon. Natsuki's cousins shout that they like watermelon. "Let's eat!" Standing in front of the door, Kenji wishes Aunt Mariko a happy 90th birthday, thinking of her as grandmother. Aunt Mariko takes offense and says that it's her mother's birthday. They then arrived inside of Natsuki's grandma's house, which is a huge traditional Japanese house. After that, Aunt Mariko went to the room of her grandmother. Apparently, Natsuki is a descendant of an ancient honored clan with a long history spanning the ancient Japanese wartime called the Jinoichi clan. All the relatives gather to celebrate their oldest grandmother's birthday. The two of them then met Natsuki's grandmother. Natsuki enters the grandmother's room, asks about her health, and says she misses her a lot. After that, grandmother saw Kenji at the door and asks, "Who is it?" Natsuki winked at her grandmother and whispered, "Does she remember the promise?" After that, Kenji came and sat in front of her grandmother, and grandmother said that he is the man. Natsuki says that he is Kenji Koiso. Kenji said that it was nice to meet her, and he's in the physics club at their high school with Natsuki. And Natsuki stops Kenji and tells her that Kenji is her boyfriend and also fiancé. Hearing this, Kenji and grandmother were both shocked and looked at each other in surprise. Natsuki says that she brought him as she promised. The grandmother then tells Kenji that Natsuki is a selfish, naive girl, but asks is he confident that he can keep her happy. She also says that she is asking him if he is ready. Kenji says yes. Then the grandmother asks if he can risk his life for her. Kenji says yes again. After being silent for some time, grandmother smiled and said that it was good to hear and congratulates them. After that, grandmother gave Natsuki a gift and bowed and told Kenji that it was a pleasure meeting him. Shocked, Kenji also bowed and did the same. After leaving grandmother's room, Natsuki apologizes for her actions, but Kenji says that he will not forgive her. Natsuki informs that she wants to tell him the official details of the job. Kenji states that he can't. Kenji has to act as Natsuki's fiancé in front of all the relatives and grandmother, but Kenji says that he cannot do it. It's impossible. Natsuki says that she cannot let them down. She promised her bedside grandmother that she will not die without seeing her boyfriend. Now he has to treat her as a girlfriend and not a senior. And he has a profile that says he is a student of Todai from an old family, and he just got back from studying abroad in America. Kenji says the exact opposite role of him. Kenji says again that he can't. Natsuki says that it will only be for 4 days, then they will break up. Next comes the car of Jinoichi Fishery. A baseball match was being broadcast on television in which Ryohei had won. The kid screams that Ryohei won! Then Uncle Mansaku came to the kitchen with 3 ice boxes. After seeing him, the children say, "They're all squid!" Then Natsuki introduced his whole family to Kenji at the dinner table. First of all, Aunt Mariko from the main house, then Rika and Richi from her house, after that Uncle Mansuke and Tasuke, and Naomi, followed by Kiyomi and Shota, the son of Tasuke. After that, Uncle Mansaku, and he has 3 sons. That is, Noriko, Yorihiko's wife, Nana is Kunihiko's wife, Yumi is Kazuhiko's wife, and her children, Kyohei and Yuhei. That is Kana, Nana's daughter. They too are Noriko's children, Shingo and Mao. At the end of the introduction, Natsuki asks Kenji if he understands. Kenji says that actually he doesn't know exactly, and everyone said it was nice to meet him. And everyone starts eating food while chatting with each other. It beautifully shows the warm dynamics of a big family with a long history of having dinner together. And Kenji discovers that the Jinoichis are descendants of a samurai vassal of the Takeda clan who challenged the Tokugawa clan in 1615. At night, Kenji calls and informs Sakuma about his condition. Sakuma tells him to enjoy it. At night, Kenji was lost in the large house trying to find the washroom. While searching, he met another one of Natsuki's relatives, a boy alone inside a dark room playing on a computer. The boy then told Kenji the direction to the washroom and continued playing. While looking for a washroom, Natsuki, who just got out of the bathroom, falls in front of Kenji, and both of them hesitated. Natsuki then asks Kenji if he is going to take a bath. The bathroom is free now. Later, Kenji is seen in the bathroom. But still, there were Natsuki's 2 cousins in the bathtub of the washroom. Suddenly, Kenji saw them there and fell down in panic. After that, Kenji also meets Wabisuke Jinoichi after coming out from the bath. The entire family was shocked by the appearance of someone called Wabisuke, who seemed to be hated by the entire family except Natsuki. Apparently, he is the son of the grandfather's mistress. Natsuki's half-great uncle is a computer expert living in the United States after stealing the family fortune 10 years ago after selling his grandmother's certificate to a mountain. Grandma asks Wabisuke for dinner, but he only drinks beer and says that Japan is a horrible place. It's hot, the roads are dirty, and there are many people. After a while, Natsuki comes there and is happy to see Uncle Wabisuke, and in the kitchen all the ladies are seen discussing about Wabisuke. Everyone is angry with him. After dinner, Wabisuke and Natsuki played a traditional Japanese card game together, and she started asking Wabisuke various questions and said that she wanted to go on vacation to America. It is then revealed that Wabisuke has won the game, and he asked them to brush and go to sleep. Natsuki seemed to really like Wabisuke and acted as if Kenji was not there. It seemed so sad to be Kenji at that time. During the night, Kenji, who couldn't sleep, received a mail from a mysterious sender on his phone. The mail was filled with what appeared to be a random arrangement of numbers. The curious Kenji, who thought it was a puzzle, tried solving it with his mathematical skills. He then managed to solve the puzzle in a short time and send the solution back to the sender. The next morning, everyone woke up and got busy doing their own work. Someone was tending the garden, making the bed, cooking, and was freshening up. Kenji was still sleeping. 2 of Natsuki's relatives' boys came and woke him up and ran in front of the television. The news said that a code was cracked from Kenji's phone. However, his actions inadvertently caused Oz's love machine to use Kenji's avatar to hack the infrastructure with the encryption that Kenji had inadvertently cracked, causing widespread damage. The news on television said that Oz had suffered a cyber attack, and apparently the culprit was Kenji's avatar. So Kenji is suspected to be the culprit. All of the activities in Oz got messed up, which affected all aspects of real life, from shopping to business. The panicked Kenji then tried to log into his account but failed. He then tried to find the boy with the computer to borrow his computer so he could log in. Kenji asks him to borrow the computer for a while, and he gives it to him, but he could not log in from the computer. After that, the boy suggested Kenji to contact at the support center, but it doesn't help a bit. Kenji's friend Sakuma then calls him and tells him that it's not him. This was done last night from a strange email. Kenji's friend Sakuma owns the monkey avatar previously seen before, then called Kenji. He told Kenji that an encrypted 2056-digit code protects Oz's security, which was deciphered by someone in one night. Kenji revealed that he had received a mail last night and sent the puzzle cracked. This means that it was Kenji who decoded the code and sent it to the mysterious sender. The next scene showed the disordered Oz, with Kenji's mouse avatar in the middle of it, controlling the other people's avatars. It was shown that the mouse avatar could steal and control other people's avatars. Using a borrowed squirrel avatar, Kenji tried to persuade him to stop doing this, but the mouse's avatar attacked him. Suddenly, King Kazuma came and beat up the mouse character. Apparently, the boy in the room is the owner of the avatar of King Kazuma and is called Kazuma. But in the middle of the fight, Kazuma is interrupted by the two little boys who suddenly come and cause the mouse avatar to escape from King Kazuma's grip and steal more avatars. Kenji, Sakuma, and Natsuki's cousin Kazuma Ikizawa confront the Love Machine. Love Machine defeats Kazuma's avatar King Kazuma and continues to absorb accounts into Oz's mainframe, which, due to many accounts being connected to devices for public infrastructure, allows Love Machine to cause catastrophic traffic congestion and disabling of electrical devices. After stealing more avatars, the mouse avatar evolved into a huge godlike avatar that was much stronger than before. He then easily beats up King Kazuma due to the power-up. Kenji then saved King Kazuma from being stolen by the new God avatar. After that, it was revealed that Kenji's old avatar had been hijacked by an AI released by the US military called the Love Machine. In the living room, the entire family was dumbfounded by the news that Kenji was the culprit that caused chaos in Oz. And that's when Rika and Shota Jinoichi discover Kenji's involvement. Shota, one of Natsuki's relatives who is a cop, arrested Kenji. Shota takes Kenji to the police station using his car, but the congestion causes Natsuki to return them to the estate. Inside Oz, the Love Machine was seen unlocking access to the entire Oz infrastructure. He messed up the entire system managing Japan, such as GPS, train lines, cable lines, and so many more, and caused so much trouble in real life. Because of the traffic jam caused by Love Machine messing with the traffic system, Kenji and Shota returned home using a motorcycle with Natsuki. The grandmother, who saw their messed up situation, decided to act. She took her phone and a thick book. She called her grandchildren currently working in important units such as firefighters and emergency units to encourage them. After that, he calls associates in important positions in Japanese society and relatives who work in emergency services, encouraging them to work their hardest to reduce chaos and damage, comparing the situation to war. Kenji is able to return control of the mainframe to the moderators and engineers, while Sakuma discovers that Kenji has actually misspelled one part of the code. Eventually, she called the higher-ups from Japan's important governmental units such as the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, the Fire and Disaster Management Agency, etc. She was even talking directly to the Superintendent General. During the phone call, she kept motivating them by telling them never to give up and saying that they could definitely do it. Slowly, the order was restored due to the people's hard work, and Kenji solved another encryption that again gave him and other avatars in Oz access. It was then revealed that there are 55 people in the world who also solved the encryption last night, but Kenji's not one of them due to a typo in the last word. This cleared Kenji's name from the charge. Due to the restored order, more family members managed to come home at night, and all of them had dinner together. During the dinner, where Wabisuke revealed that he invented the program, sold it to the United States Armed Forces for a test run, and expanded it into a virtual intelligence. Wabisuke told Kenji and the others that he couldn't beat Love Machine, and he was one of the developers of Love Machine. Wabisuke told Grandma that he did it to gain money back so that he could repay her, but this angered Grandma, who tried to kill him instead. This made Wabisuke leave the house in the middle of the night. After dinner, Grandma played a Hanafuda card game with Kenji. Grandma said if she won, Kenji must take good care of Natsuki, and she encourages Kenji to take care of Natsuki during a koi match. Even though Grandma already knows that Natsuki asked Kenji to pretend to be her fiancé. In the end, Grandma won against Kenji and it ended with a smile. After that, Kenji goes to sleep, but can't seem to fall asleep. After some time, he fell asleep. and he woke up from the sound of the dog, and he jumped, seeing a tense moment in the room, and goes towards Grandma's room. Everyone rushed around the Grandma's room in the morning to see her worsened condition. She died surrounded by her family members inside her room. The doctor comes to see Grandma. Everybody is grieving and crying. The doctor said that she was prescribed nitroglycerin for heart problems. She was monitoring her condition with this. If her heart rate, blood pressure, or perspiration became unstable, the alarm would go off, but she hasn't received data since last night because of the Oz chaos. Kenji says that one of the accounts that were stolen was managing the system. Uncle Mansaku asks if she would be alive if it weren't for that, but the doctor informed them that no, that it was her time. In the next scene, Natsuki's whole family is in a state of grief. Natsuki held Kenji's hand and cried bitterly. Afterwards, everyone is seen eating and planning how to say goodbye to Grandma. The ladies of the house want to say goodbye to Grandma as soon as possible, and the gentlemen go elsewhere, which was offending the ladies. Because of this, Kenji and Natsuki's uncles devise a plan to defeat Love Machine so that this will not happen again to anyone. They spread out, preparing for the plan. Uncle Tasuke brought a supercomputer from his electronics store. Uncle Mansuke brought his fishing boat, which served as the power source. And the other uncle, who works in the military, brought a jeep with a military-grade antenna module from Japan's Self-Defense Force military base. The preparation ends with the blocks of ice to cool down the supercomputer. After everything is ready, King Kazuma sends an invitation to Love Machine to begin a fight. Love Machine, who accepted King Kazuma's invitation, then arrived, and they both had a rematch. In the next scene, Aunt Mariko can be seen saying that Grandma died with such a peaceful face. In another scene, it can be seen that Uncle Tasuke is telling Kenji, "We don't get many customers at the electronics store here, so most orders are for government offices or schools." He is supposed to deliver this to a university. Kenji asks if it is alright to do this. In response, Uncle Tasuke said they would just borrow it. Also said that Kenji, he was quite bold in front of Aunt Mariko, so he thinks Kazuma's changed his impression of you. Their family usually has women in the center, so the men aren't very strong. The next scene shows the mother of Kazuma and Kenji watching Kazuma practice. Kenji then says that Kazuma looks like King Kazuma. He's like that now, but he used to be bullied quite often. Using Oz, he was in Nagoya studying Shorinji Kempo from Uncle Mansuke in Niigata, so that's why he called him Master. King Kazuma had the upper hand and beat up Love Machine. Love Machine then tried to escape and used his controlled avatars to attack King Kazuma. King Kazuma was then saved by Uncle Mansuke, who used his avatar via a retro gaming console. Thanks to the time he bought, King Kazuma was able to escape and trick the Love Machine into a trap room they had prepared. After Love Machine is trapped, Natsuki's uncles then fill the room with water to drown Love Machine, but suddenly their trap crumbled little by little due to the overheating of the supercomputer. The idiot Shota apparently moved the ice from the computer to Grandma's room to cool her room. In the end, the Love Machine escaped and took the form of a giant combined form of avatars. He then took out King Kazuma in one hit. In real life, the angry Kazuma hit Shota's face after being mocked by Shota, the idiot. Upon seeing the monitor back, the clock in Oz suddenly turned into a countdown and showed pictures of nuclear power plants around the world. The Love Machine then redirects one of Japan's satellites to hit one of the power plants, and that countdown shows the time before the satellite hits the Earth. Seeing that, Kazuma got very angry and tried to attack Love Machine again, but was easily beaten up and consumed by Love Machine. Love Machine's form then changed into a form of a godlike rabbit. The entire family who was in the living room then knew of the real terror of Love Machine. Natsuki then called Wabisuke, telling him Grandma was gone. Hearing it, the shocked Wabisuke then rushed back home immediately. Upon hearing Grandma's last letter telling them to stay calm, they all then joined together to have lunch with Wabisuke, who went home in such a chaotic state. The time shows 1 hour before the satellite hits the Earth. While having lunch, they discussed the strategy to beat the Love Machine. Wabisuke planned to break down the Love Machine's programming internally. Kenji then proposed challenging Love Machine to a Hanafuda card game, knowing that Love Machine loves to play games and would accept the challenge. Natsuki then represents the entire family in challenging the Love Machine in the game. The computerized voice said, Welcome to Oz's casino stage, where Hanafuda has been chosen for the game, and they are asked to place their bets. They start playing by placing their bets in their accounts. Natsuki informs her entire family that she is taking custody of all their accounts. Then Kenji told Wabisuke that please begin the disassembling process in parallel. One of Natsuki's uncles said that he wonders if he'll accept the challenge. Another uncle said that including Sakuma, there are only 20. It's such a small bet. Another said that no matter how small, they're our lives. After a while, the computerized voice said that they had found a participant. Motivating Natsuki, his relatives told him that the fate of the world was in his hands. This time, it said in a computerized voice, in this stage, casino rules will be applied. For each koi, your points will double. The player who wins last will receive all the points. Natsuki wins for the first time. Rika says that grandma has trained them since they were kids. 26 accounts are being transferred because Natsuki won the match. 26 out of 400 million. Sakuma comments on how good Natsuki plays. She's won more than 300,000 avatars in such a short time, but they still haven't gotten the ones they need. Natsuki won several times in succession, but when there is no time at all, panic at that moment and Natsuki has lost. Points are being transferred and Natsuki now has 74 accounts. Sakuma says that they have less than half an hour. The computerized voice says he currently does not have enough accounts for the current rate. Would he like to end the game? Natsuki was losing and didn't have enough counts to bet with. At that moment, a boy from Germany said, Natsuki, please use his account. Immediately after this, many accounts come to help Natsuki. In total, that's 13.78% of all the accounts. They have over 150 million accounts. And they said that they give him his account. So please save their precious families. Then the guardian angels of Oz gave Natsuki a rare item for luck. It is now 10 million avatars. And in the end, Natsuki wins. Accounts are being transferred. The god avatar was falling apart. All the accounts were getting out. Basically, she bet her family's 20 accounts so she could take Love Machine's stolen accounts. As Natsuki kept winning the game, she won more and more accounts, and the bet also increased. However, the unfocused Natsuki lost a match against Love Machine and was left with 74 accounts. With the number of available accounts, she cannot continue the match due to the already high bet. Suddenly, everyone around the world watching her match approached her and offered to use their accounts for the match. Natsuki also received a new skin for her avatar from the Guardians of Oz. She then bet all her accounts into one final match and finally stripped the Love Machine of all the stolen accounts. The countdown finally came to a stop. Natsuki's entire family then cheers that they have won. Kenji comes to greet Natsuki. Natsuki gets emotional, saying that she has succeeded, and jumped and fell into Kenji's arms. The whole family screamed with happiness, but while they were celebrating, suddenly the countdown began again, and this time the satellite was targeting their home. The Love Machine still has control over the satellite. The whole family began to panic and immediately tried to evacuate from the house. The whole family was packing their belongings in the car to leave home when Kenji sat down to try one last time. Everyone was saying to leave the house, but Kenji said that he didn't know how much he could do, so he asked the whole family to leave. Then Shota came and said that let's do it together once again. But someone was trying to stop Kenji repeatedly by changing the password. Kenji was repeatedly cracking codes and changing passwords. Kenji succeeds in entering for the third time. Kazuma is surprised to see that Kenji was cracking the code so quickly. Wabisuke tells Kazuma to fight one more time. Meanwhile, while cracking the code, blood came out of Kenji's nose, yet he continued to try. Critically injures the Love Machine, prompting it to redirect the Arawashi towards Sake's estate. Kenji repeatedly tries to break into the probe's GPS, while Wabisuke disables the Love Machine's defenses. After being revived and assisted by several of the Jinoichi family's avatars, King Kazuma destroys Love Machine. Kenji infiltrates the GPS to redirect the Arawashi from the estate, destroying the estate's entrance and causing a geyser to erupt. Eventually, Kenji never gave up. In one final battle, Kenji tried to take over the system controlled by Love Machine by solving the 2056-digit encryption. He solved it quickly, but was immediately locked out by Love Machine. Kenji then tried to solve it again and was locked out. The third time, Kenji managed to do an unbelievable thing by doing the calculation inside his head. When Love Machine tried to lock him out again, King Kazuma rushed to punch him immediately. Upon receiving King Kazuma's punch, the Love Machine was completely destroyed because Wabisuke had weakened him beforehand. Finally, the satellite's coordinate was changed and redirected from their house. The satellite fell near their house and the impact surfaced a hot spring from the ground. In the end, Natsuki wears the gift Grandma gave her, and everyone celebrates her birthday by singing the song they prepared. A lot of people are crowded, eating and drinking is happening. Ryohei comes in and starts crying. His mother allowed him to cry no more. Natsuki's parents arrive. Kazuma waved his hand to get his pregnant mother. Then his father arrived and praised Kazuma. Natsuki can be seen looking at Kenji with great joy and shying away. Sakuma is then seen talking to Natsuki on the phone and says that he saw Wabisuke's confession on the news. Natsuki tells Kenji that Sakuma said that he doesn't have to go back. Kenji says that no, he'll go. A relative of Natsuki drags Kenji in front of Natsuki and asks why he doesn't marry Natsuki. Shoto arrives and tells Kenji that he will kill him if he says he doesn't like Natsuki. Kenji then desperately shouts that he loves Natsuki. Shoto tries to say this again, but someone pushes him away. Natsuki then says that she is very happy, thank you. After that, everyone asked them to kiss, but since Kenji's nose was bleeding, they couldn't kiss. However, Natsuki kisses Kenji on the cheek, and Kenji bleeds a lot in shame and faints. So the entire family celebrated Grandma's birthday and funeral, with many other people attending in front of their ruined house due to the impact of the satellite. The movie ends with Wabisuke surrendering to the authorities and Natsuki kissing Kenji while being pushed by the entire family. So that concludes the summary of the Summer Wars. Did the message from the grandmother benefit everyone? And would you win against an AI? And don't forget to subscribe to my channel.